Welcome to the next installment of my video lecture series for microeconomic principles. In this particular video, I'm addressing text problem 4D from chapter 2, and this is what the problem here looks like. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like actually in my econ lab before I transfer over to another program to actually work on the problem. So you can see here that I've just transferred the information over, and that table was output per hour. The two products were wristbands and potholders. And if Kristen spent an hour working on wristbands, she could produce 25 wristbands. Or she could spend an hour producing potholders, and in that hour she could produce 5. If we take a look at Anna's output for wristbands in an hour is 24, and her output for potholders is equal to 4. So she could produce 24 wristbands in an hour, or she could produce 4 potholders. The information that I have here is that the wristbands sell for 3 and the potholders sell for 6, and each person is going to work 20 hours per week. The problem with this, or the issue with this that people probably had, was calculating who had the comparative advantage and therefore in what item, and then that determines what item they will specialize in. So the easiest way to do this is just to compare output for each person. So we know that Kristen can produce 5 potholders in an hour, or she can produce 25 wristbands. So the production, that hour she can produce 5 potholders and 25 wristbands. We can compare those two. And then what we need to do is just to bring that down into the equivalent of what one potholder is equal to. So if we divide both sides by 5, we find that that one potholder is equal to 5 wristbands. We do the same thing for Anna. We know that she can produce 4 potholders in an hour, or she can produce 24 wristbands. If we bring that down to what one potholder is the equivalent to, at the time that she spent producing one potholder, she could produce 6 wristbands. So if we compare these numbers, we see that Kristen has the lower opportunity cost in potholder production, because when she produces one potholder, the opportunity cost is 5 wristbands, but it's 6 wristbands for Anna. So therefore, Kristen is going to specialize in potholders, and because we only have 2 goods and we have 2 people and we have a linear production possibilities frontier, Anna is automatically going to specialize in the other item. So Kristen's going to spend her 20 hours producing potholders, so she's going to spend 20 hours. She produces 5 potholders an hour, and then we multiply by the price of potholders, which is equal to 6. So she's going to generate $600 worth of revenue. And if we do the same thing for Anna, she's got 20 hours with which to produce wristbands. So 20 times 24 will give us her wristband production, and then we multiply that by 3, which gives us the revenue she generates, and she's going to generate $1,440 in revenue. If we add those two together, that will give us our total revenue, and that total revenue is going to be equal to $2,040. So let us go back to the problem that we had here. So we already know that Kristen is going to specialize in potholder production. So that means she's going to spend 20 hours producing potholders. Anna is going to specialize in wristband production, so she's not going to spend any time producing potholders, so that's going to be equal to 0. And if we want to take total revenue, we just plug in those total revenue numbers, and we get the answer for that particular problem.